Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And today we're going to be talking about love at first sight.
Oh, ooh la la.
What do you guys think about love at first sight? Is it real? How real is it? Have you ever experienced it? You know, I was just telling Victoria before we started this that I saw something recently. I can't remember if I was watching a YouTube video and they were talking about love at first sight. And I remember hearing them say, I can't remember who it was somebody I respected, that they thought that there was evidence to love at first sight, which I always kind of thought, you know, it's more like a lust. But apparently there's something more to it.
Interesting.
So let's talk about this today. We got some good research.
We do have some research, and some of it that, you know, we can kind of theorize and think about and see if there could be some validity to love at first sight, if it is a real thing, if there's anything that does support it. But in this article, we're going to talk about some of Dr. Helen Fisher's work, which we have talked about her before.
Yes, she is very highly respected, and she
is.
does tremendous amounts of research, including stuff with brain scans and all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah. She has a lot of really interesting things to talk about. And so this is from a Psychology Today article where she talks about love at first sight and just some of the data on it. I figured we could talk about it and theorize and speculate all we want in this video.
Yeah.
And so,
I get a lot of comments from people that say they've had love at first sight when they've seen me on the channel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that true? Me too.
Of course. You experienced it too?
Yeah, once or twice. A lot of people are in no contact with me, apparently. So in this video, we'll be talking about some of the bits of research that she found and why it's important information, why it can kind of help your perspective on dating and the people that you find attractive and instantly attractive. So the first piece is this grand study that she did on singles with a pretty significant sample size. So she studied a bunch of people and asked them a bunch of questions.
Now, she's an actual researcher, okay, people? She's not one of these dating coaches that say their Get Your Ex Back guide has a 96% success rate.
Right.
Someone actually says that. I'd love to know how they got that data and information, right?
It's he's following people. He's showing up at their houses.
So this is a highly respected woman. She's done a lot of stuff over love over the years.
Exactly. So this study that was conducted on singles, large sample size, and they had asked how many people believed in love at first sight. So in this study, the researchers found that 63% of men and 53% of women believed in love at first sight.
I know for myself, I felt that way when I got to meet Christy Brinkley recently. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm not even sure who that is.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, she was a very famous supermodel in the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah, and she was at a convention recently. I got my picture with her.
Oh, there you go.
I think I posted it on my Instagram if you want to see a picture with me and Christy Brinkley.
Oh, wow.
Not the first supermodel I've hung out with, though.
But you do believe in love at first sight?
After that day, I did.
Okay. So there is a significant percentage of people, at least in this study on singles, that did believe in that concept. So it is kind of interesting to think about how that shapes society, how that shapes the way that we date, especially with things like online dating. Can we believe that we fall in love at first profile?
Yeah.
Or how does that work?
Love at first swipe.
Yeah, true, maybe.
And then she swiped left.
Oh gosh. Ouch. That was my chance.
That was it. I loved her.
Or when you accidentally swipe left and you meant to swipe right, and then you forever lost your lover on the internet.
They're gone forever.
So it does bring about so many other questions about the way that we date nowadays in society. Just the idea that so many people believe in this concept.
It's a romantic concept.
It really is. It really is.
Like twin flames and soulmates and stuff like that.
Yeah. Then there was another question about how many people had experienced it. And so
did we say the woman's percentage?
Yeah, it was 53.
53%.
Yes.
I was too busy thinking about Christy.
Oh, I see. You wanted to see if she was part of that 53 too?
Oh, I know it. She was smiling pretty big in that picture. I'm going to say that right now.
I see. All right. And so out of people who have actually experienced it, the study showed that 41% of men responded yes and 29% of women. So that is pretty interesting that it actually is more men than women that believe and have experienced love at first sight.
But I guess men thought it was more possible than women did, even just thinking it's possible. But, you know, men are so visual, too. So...
And women who have dated men probably realize that. This isn't love. Just kidding. And so people tend to be more drawn to the same ethnic and socioeconomic background, same level of looks, intelligence, and education, values, financial, and family goals. This is kind of what the study highlighted. Which, into what you were saying from the very beginning, is there any validity to this? Could love at first sight be real? If you think about it, people who do share the same values as you, you're probably going to have a higher likelihood of things working out than people who are vastly different from you. So it does make sense in some regard. Okay, love at first sight, love at first, you know, we share all of these things together. This is clicking, it's working out.
Yeah.
So it would make sense that some of these situations would work out more so than others.
Sure.
The studies also show that there are 3 things that people initially noticed in a potential partner, and that is their teeth, their grammar, and self-confidence, which Helen Fisher, linked to their health, teeth, education, their grammar, and also their mental health, meaning their self-confidence.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that definitely makes sense to me as well. She also looked at brain systems and if there's any aspects of our bodies and mind and personalities that affect our instant attraction. And this is what I thought was really interesting, because it's not really something that I would have thought of off the top of my head of, you know, is there something in my brain that causes me to be attracted to certain other people, meaning like hormones or, you know, certain type of systems in our body. But sure enough, you know, there were studies that found the dopamine system, so people who had traits that were risk-taking, energetic, creative, were more attracted to people who were like-minded, and those with traits that are linked to the serotonin system, meaning more traditional, cautious, detail-oriented traits, were more attracted to those types of personality types.
Interesting.
The other systems that she found that had some correlations here with instant attraction was also estrogen and testosterone. So she found that those with traits linked to testosterone, both in men and women, such as being more analytical, more skeptical, tough-minded, were instantly attracted to their opposite. Those with traits linked to estrogen, empathy, socially skilled, holistic long-term thinkers, and that's both men and women. So on one part of the system, the dopamine serotonin systems, it was linked to similarities versus the other one was attracted to opposites.
Okay.
You're just like, what do we do with this information?
Yeah. What do we do with it?
It does kind of make you reflect onto your own choice for potential partners and the people that you have dated. Was this research, you know, true in your own life? Do you find yourself attracted to risk takers if you are one? Or if you are more traditional or cautious, do you find yourself attracted to similar people? And on the other hand, if you feel like you are more testosterone driven, very analytical, you know, that type of thinking, are you more attracted to somebody who's a little bit more empathetic, more nurturing maybe, and vice versa?
Something to think about.
Exactly.
One of the other things that we have found or that we have seen is that people can feel an instant connection to somebody who had similar traumas. You know, we can relate with them and we feel like we get them on some deep level because we've been through similar experiences, and our unconscious can just kind of feel that connection.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason this research is important, the reason why, you know, we pay attention to what attracts people, what keeps people together, what is that initial spark, is because it highlights how complex attraction really is. Sometimes we think it's just, you know, if we spritz a cologne, it's that, or, you know, if we do a certain behavior, then it's that. But it is so many other things. It depends on our background, what we are unconsciously picking up. Our teeth, apparently, our grammar, apparently.
Yeah.
So there's so many different factors that influence attraction and influence that love at first sight type feeling. And in noticing this, in becoming more aware of what we find attractive, we can have a little bit more power and control. Do we like, in a longer term, what we are instantly attracted to? Or do we find ourselves in these constant pickles where, man, we had this instant attraction, but then it fell apart, and that keeps happening to me over and over and over again.
Yep.
So these types of research really do give us more power and give us the ability to be aware of what we're doing, even if they're things that feel very instant and feel like we don't have so much power over.
Remember, what you're instantly attracted to does not necessarily mean it's best for you or your best option. A lot of people, they want that spark. They want that lustful, incredible feeling of connection, and they think that's love. But it isn't. It's lust. But it doesn't mean it's going to be a long-term loving relationship. And you always got to consider that. Just because there's a strong chemistry doesn't mean it's going to be good for you. Because a lot of those relationships are really volatile. Mm-hmm. And you got to be careful with those, that you're not just getting hooked on that lust, that adrenaline, that dopamine, and you're ignoring somebody who may be a little bit boring for you, but is actually a good partner for you.
Mm-hmm. Right. They may not have the nicest teeth, but maybe they really do share your values. Mm-hmm. Or maybe they're very complementary to your personality. So take a little bit of time for attraction and for that type of passion to grow. We always like to see people trying out new things, seeing what works for them, seeing what doesn't, recognizing patterns in their life, and actively making choices about who they decide to let into their life as a partner and in that partner role.
Yep. It's interesting because I've talked to so many women over the years, and a lot of times they'll say to me, I wasn't even attracted to this guy at first. They say, you're laughing like it's happened to you a lot of times. Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of times women are like, I didn't really find this guy attractive at first, but they get to know the person and they really fall in love with the person and the qualities that they have.
Right. So always give it some time, see where things kind of line up, get to know each other better. There's a lot more to that instant attraction. Sometimes it really does work out that way, where there is an instant attraction and many other things do line up. And when we lose that person, it can hurt all the more. So instant attraction isn't everything. A lot of times there's a lot going on, more so than we can see.
Absolutely. Okay, so hopefully this one's been helpful to you and interesting. You could share your experiences in the comments. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, just go to my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Coach Victoria is available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
Just click on her name on the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.